Hey, get this, if your AC is on, you're smarter than average. And don't take my word for granted, take a look at this experiment. For the sake of science, researchers had 44 students perform tests while there was a heat wave in the city. They found that students who had the test without AC performed a lot worse than the other students. Studies show that the score of a school test fell 0.4% for every degree above 22 degrees Celsius. So what I'm saying is, if you take a school test at 35 degrees, you will score 5% lower without even knowing it. Many people believe they are immune to heat, but science says otherwise. The physiological factor that might explain this great decline in cognition and the sudden aggressiveness is heat stress. Heat stress occurs when the body cannot get rid of excess heat. Stress affects many parts of the brain, including the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. The prefrontal cortex lies at the very front of your brain and is responsible for decision-making, working memory, speech and self-control, while the amygdala is the seat of emotions. These two parts are involved with stress in different ways. The amygdala detects stress in the environment. It's too hot, while the prefrontal cortex controls how we respond to the stress in the environment. Let's turn on the AC. If heat stress persists, activity both in the amygdala and in the prefrontal cortex is disrupted, making you more aggressive, unable to decide and to control yourself. This stress has a serious influence on the heart and the kidneys, especially if the heat is persistent, but it's not a direct cause of pain. However, people who have chronic health conditions are at risk, as their organs can't handle such stress. In these subjects, heat may increase chronic pain, which makes it much worse for their brains too. From the time we have discovered fire, we have also battled to control the flames. The fire pump was invented by Ctesibius, an Egyptian inventor, but the first firefighter in history may be Roman, because in the 1st century BC, Emperor Crassus created the first Roman fire brigade, a fire department consisting of 500 paid men. Ever heard a taxi driver can remember more places and has a larger hippocampus than anyone else? Well, the same thing applies to firemen too. It has been shown that firemen have developed a sort of immunity to heat. But how could they be different if they were born in the same way as everyone else? Honestly, we still don't know. What we know for sure is that despite all odds, the brain can adapt and even thrive in incredibly difficult circumstances. And that is amazing.